All right, welcome back, Donna. We've gotten over those technical difficulties because what you're sharing is so important, and I want to make sure everyone can hear it. So, again, you were talking about sort of the pain or what you wanted to change in your business.
Right. So, and what I was talking about is after 9/11, everybody took a hit, and I think we hear this, you and I, Marquesa, certainly heard this a lot in the National Speakers Association, the meetings industry, and you had a choice. I mean, your choice was either fold up and die, or fold up and go away, or you had to start getting more creative about how you were going to make connections and how you were going to make sales and how you were going to get that next speech and
Absolutely.
sell that next contract. And so that was the pain. That was the impetus for really thinking about how are we going to do things differently than we have been.
Okay. And so for you, now that you're like, okay, I want to go in a different way. And I also think that folks, me being coming from a strong sales background for a huge company, one thing I've learned is you've got to switch strategies. Otherwise you get burnt out and you're wondering, but I had such success and now I'm not. So I think no matter what, you've got to switch it up and think outside of the box. So what is this strategy then? Or what is this best practice?
So a year or a little more than a year ago, I started strategically working on more face-to-face meetings with specifically prospective clients, but really just more face-to-face meetings to get my name out, to get more information out about what we do. And so what I would do is, and what I still do is that when I'm going to a town to speak, if I can build a cushion in, I will. And then I go on to LinkedIn and look at all of the people that I know, all the connections that I have in that area, and just shoot them an email and say, hey, I'm going to be in your area. I'd love to get together for a cup of coffee. And it's not salesy, and I don't intend it to be a sale. It's just, let's get to know each other. And I do that locally here now more too. It's like, who in the local area, if I'm here in Asheville, North Carolina, where I live, who in the local area really should I know? And so let's just set up coffee to meet them. Whereas I really didn't do that before, and we could talk about that in a minute. But what's interesting and something I've learned in the process is, even though I was very hyper concerned about it not seeming salesy, people do want to know about you and they do want information. And so I'd be trying to keep it casual, and people would be saying, yeah, but tell me more about what you do. And so I wouldn't show up with anything but a business card. Now I show up at those meetings, with collateral and information, and I still try and keep it casual, but I'm ready for them when they say, hey, tell me a little bit more about that, because here's what we've been dealing with and how can you help? And it, more often than not, it turns into that kind of conversation. And this past year, I got one of my biggest clients that way. It was a simple 15-minute coffee that I had with her in Michigan turned into one of my biggest clients.
Wow, a 15-minute coffee turned into 5-figure or 6-figure deal. That's it.
Exactly. And then several speaking engagements that I wasn't really expecting. It was just about get to know you, but it's turned things around. It's a whole different way of working for me.
So just to clarify, would you email them or message them on LinkedIn and say, hey, I'm going to be in your area. I have a speaking engagement on this day. Love to take you to coffee. Or what would be your process, especially if it's a potential client or, something of that sort? What would be your way to sort of get them to say yes? In our nature these days, we're busy and overwhelmed. So it's really interesting to find out, what is it that you did to make them say yes?
Yeah. So if it's local, I'm saying, let me take you to coffee, because we have a little more time to play with. And so we can set a date, and it's like, let's just get together. And particularly here in Asheville, everybody really is into the whole networking thing on a really big level. So that's really easy to do. But like you say, when I'm going to another city, I have limited time. So it's a specific date that I'm asking for, and I know they have limited time. So it really is just may I drop by with some coffee, or may I just drop by for 15 minutes just to say hello while I'm in the area, and that's all it is. And again, it says nothing about sales, nothing about, I want to tell you about my business. It's usually somebody that I have some connection to. So they're either a newsletter subscriber, they were in one of my audiences, or maybe we've talked before and it didn't really pan out. So I'll look for those people and say, hey, I just happen to be here. I'd love to come over and say hello. And that's it. And then they can tell me what the right circumstances are in order for us to do that.
Wonderful. You are so wonderful. That's why you're my speaker buddy. And I knew you would be fantastic to interview. 14 years in this business, and you're still strong, and you're only reinventing yourself over and over. And I love what you're doing out there. Thanks for your influence and making a difference to everyone. So thanks so much, Donna, for this wonderful Speaker Magazine interview. So hold on one second so I can say my personal goodbye to you.